Hi, and welcome to the Very Short Introductions podcast. From creativity to slang and modern drama to psychopathy, we'll showcase a concise and original introduction to a wide range of subjects, for wherever your curiosity may take you. So here is today's very short introduction.
Hello, my name is Nancy Pachana, and I'm a professor of clinical geropsychology in the School of Psychology at the University of Queensland in Brisbane, Australia. I've spent the last 25 years of my research career researching clinical and applied aspects of aging, both healthy aging, as well as helping people with mental health issues and people living with dementia and their care partners. And the title of my VSI, very short introduction, is a very short introduction to aging. And I first became interested in aging when I was a student doing my clinical placements in a hospital at various hospitals in Los Angeles and San Francisco. And I really found working with older adults so satisfying. They had wonderful stories about their life and they had wonderful experiences. And for a young psychologist, I think it was so inspiring to work with older people. And I spent a lot of time researching not only gerontology, which is the science of aging, but also when you work with older adults, you get interested in history, you get interested in world events, because older adults bring a lifetime of these experiences to their interactions with you. And so the topic of my very short introduction, aging, it's such a pithy one-word title, but it encompasses everything from the history of how society and civilizations have viewed getting older and living to an older age, right through to the biological underpinnings of aging, both what allows people to age well and what are some processes that can interfere with healthy aging. It encompasses the psychology of aging, so important, how people view their own aging. It covers topics such as ageism, and particularly older adults themselves taking on ageist stereotypes. It encompasses sociology, how people live together in communities. What are the socio-political structures of communities that both support and can retard healthy aging? And what are the economic and social ramifications of an increasing number of people in the world, which is the current state of affairs, living to an older age? And this demographic situation is true globally of countries on every continent. And so coming to grips and understanding all of these aspects of aging are really key. The book ends with an examination of what are some of the future trends in terms of aging. For example, what new technologies are helping us live longer, more independently at home? What are some of the technologies and also care approaches that are being used in innovative nursing home situations? And finally, as a society, how do we introspect on living longer? There are some people that really wanting to push possibly infinitely lifespans, and yet we know from science fiction some of the many difficulties of living forever. And is that really realistic? And how do we come to grips with aging? Because no matter where you are in the world, if you're lucky enough, you will live to a long age. And so in conclusion, I think that this topic is one that can excite everyone. There are many people who are caring for loved ones, for example, who are facing living with dementia. There are people, and I see this in my own students, who are thinking about what does it mean through every decade of one's life to grow older. And again, the book takes a lifespan perspective. So it's not just aging from a particular point in time. It's not just for people looking at people over 65, which is itself an arbitrary definition of aging, but it's looking at what is that process of maturation and self-reflection that goes on throughout the lifespan. I would hope that it would excite conversations about where do we as a society want to take the fact that we have this great resource in a growing number of older people who have so much to contribute politically, economically, socially within their communities and within the broader global perspective. But we have also some key issues that also need reflecting upon. So COVID-19 in the current state of affairs has shown us that perhaps there are more ageist sentiments circulating in the population, people wondering about how best to deal with an illness that poses specific risks for older adults. And this really brings up issues of human rights. Can you just tell people based on their age that they need to stay, for example, in one place, or in many nursing homes, just in one room? So in conclusion, aging is a topic that has excited me throughout my career. I have a lot of interests in my personal and professional life, but aging has been the one constant because there are constantly new developments in the field of gerontology, in the many applied areas of aging, caring for people, building age-friendly buildings and cities, and then philosophical questions. So with each decade passing, how do we deal with changes within ourselves, physically, mentally, socially, some for the better and some for the worse? And how do we deal with these changes within our societies? How do we do this in a way that culturally appropriate, that resonates with people, but then also does not hide key issues that we need to face as a society that is lucky enough to be able to grow old? Thank you very much.
Thank you for listening to Season 3 of the Very Short Introductions podcast. Please stay tuned as we'll be back with new episodes in April. In the meantime, you can subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify and Stitcher to receive all of our episodes directly in your podcast feed. The Very Short Introductions podcast can also be found on SoundCloud and YouTube at OUP Academic.